Hello, my algebra kids. Welcome to math class. Today we are talking about scatter plots and trend lines. And so scatter plots, those are another way to talk about seeing data and seeing a relationship that might occur between pieces of data. So scatter plots are normally graphed on graphs that look like this, and they'll have some kind of thing like here's the time and here is the money. And so you'll see that as different points get added into this graph, doesn't really matter. I'm not actually caring about what the units are for this, but we can see that this would be an example of having, as time grows, the way we would say this is as time grows, the cost grows as well. So as more time passes, more money gets spent or more money gets saved or whatever's happening with money. As one's growing, the other is growing. This is called a positive correlation. And what a positive correlation says is both sets of data increase. Okay, so as this is happening, both sets of data is increasing. Our time is growing and our money is growing. Okay, that would be a positive correlation. Another correlation we might see is a negative correlation. And this is as one data set grows, the other shrinks. And this might be a graph. It might look like this, and here we go. Time on TikTok and brain cells. And so the more time you're on TikTok, the less brain cells you might have. And again, I'm just making up this data. This is not anything scientific, but this would be a negative correlation. The more time you spend on TikTok, the less number of brain cells you might have. Again, just I'm making this up as I go along. It just happens to work perfectly. So that's the second type of correlation, would be a negative correlation. The final type of correlation is no correlation. That's just correlation. That's, my brain cells are gone. I spent too much time on my TikTok. No correlation. This means that the data doesn't impact one another. There is no relationship. And that would be a graph that might look something like and this would be cars sold and the, I don't know, number of I can't even think of anything. Number of banks. Number of banks. Doesn't matter how many banks there are. It's not going to impact how many cars are being sold. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So these are the three different correlations we see with scatter plots: positive, negative, and No correlation. There's no relationship between the two values. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to be looking at data, looking at scatter plots, and identifying relationships between those different relationships. So if I were to say, all right, well, what if we had a relationship between the temperature in Houston and the number of cars sold in Boston? Well, we would say there's no relationship. It doesn't matter what the temperature in Houston is. That's not going to change how many cars are sold in Boston. So there's no relationship. There's no correlation between those two data sets. Or if I were to say the number of people in the family and how much they spend at a restaurant, there's probably a positive correlation. There's more people that are at the restaurant. There's going to be more people that are eating. And that would be a positive correlation. So that's what you're going to do. It's pretty quick today. Today's not a terrible lesson. Make sure you have these 3 scatter plots written down so you can identify the relationships. And we will be talking about that more. We don't do a ton with scatter plots this year, but it's good to know them and to be able to understand what's happening, especially when you get into statistics later on. All right, have a great rest of your day.